Hello. Hello sa inyong lahat. Sino bang nandito ngayon? Wow, dami nating mga nakakamiss na mga kasama. Ang ating lingkod na si Attorney AGP ay wala pa ring internet na matino. We tried it kanina. We tried our best to fix their connection there. But fortunately or unfortunately, yung aking connection lang ang naayos namin. Dahil meron pala atang mga system repairs na nangyayari sa ngayon, no? Sa ating magaling na internet service provider dito sa Pilipinas na huwag na natin pangalanan para hindi naman wala naman silang binabayad na advertisement sa atin, di ba? So last night talagang it was the worst. I measured my speed here. It was 256 kbps. Naalala niyo pa ba yung speed na 256 kbps? Who can remember dial-up service? Who can remember that? Dial-up? Anyone? Yung may modem pa? Naalala niyo ba yun? Good PM kay Rotc and Ligaya Santiago Lumbera. Mga bago to. Si Attorney Trixie po pala yung Zoraida. What happened to Unity? What is that? I don't know. Haha! Si Rocky Wambang to, good evening. And kala mo naman, maganda si... Ay, nag-aaway na sila. Alam nyo, okay lang. You can fight if you want. You can continue bashing each other there. But, okay, may internet na ba? Sabi ni Pinay Paparazzi, yung ating, but he will try daw. So he told me he will try to connect via, via data sa phone. But kanina din, I think there's something wrong with their area. So when I asked the service provider over the phone kanina, ako naman yung nagpapayos, they confirmed na yung area na meron talaga silang ginagawa. So it's a system issue. And we cannot do anything about it. And as we said in our title, we'll talk about the internet. Who wants to talk about the internet? What about the internet and how does this connect to our topics na sinimulan mula sa pinakamalapit na lang, kay Reza, kay Maria Reza. How do you think does the internet connect to Maria Reza? Tinitira po kayo ni Maharlika. Sino si Maharlika? I don't know her. Ako mismo. Okay, I wanna show you This is Relaida. Me or si AGP? And what about? Sino ba siya? Put it in the comments please para we can maybe discuss. I do not know what you're talking about. Sige, so I'll go to our lower and newer, good evening kay Francis, kay Army, and meron pang bago tayong comments. Noy, Don, sana nagre-reply sa PM si attorney. Ang hirap nga, wala ngang internet dun sa kanila. As in, bagsak yung speed. 256 kbps, mantakin nyo yan. Pero dati malakas na yun, yung 256. I remember when I was first trying to make an IP-based STL. Sino nakakaalam sa inyo from broadcast dyan? Yung STL is a studio to transmitter link. So when your studio is far away from your transmitter site, you use a studio to transmitter link. Now, before, there used to be a wire that carries the signal up to the tower. And then there was a technology called yung wireless na STL, which transmitted the audio from the broadcast studio to the tower via wireless. And then naging from RF to microwave. So gumanda yung quality. And then nagkaroon ng IP-based. So when I tried to use that way back in, when was that? About 2008? 2008, that was just 12 years ago. The internet was so new. I entered into a contract, a very expensive one, with Clark. I think Clark, the one named Clark, yung internet service provider sa loob ng Clark. And I think his name is also Dennis Oy. I don't know if he's the same Dennis Oy. I believe he's not, no? So, alam mo kung ano yung kinukuha kong connection na kailangan may kontrata pa to be sure that when I say 256 kbps, they give me 256 kbps. And you know what you can do with 256 kbps? You can transmit very clear audio over that line. But now, no more. Kasi may video tayo. Now, paano natin to nako-connect? What is the internet? And how does communication over the internet become protected speech in the same way that there is freedom of the press? Is that Clark Internet is Clark Communications, Clarkcom. Clarkcom yun, Clarkcom. I think that's the name, Clarkcom, no? So we had to get one service provider that gave us a point-to-point communication which was assured to be, ang tawag doon ay, the terminology there was called CIR or Committed Information Rate at 256 kbps. Sipin nyo yan. And now, yung ating, okay, this was before, and now, our standard is, napapahala na tayo kapag bumaba na sa 50 Mbps. Wow. Now, there is also another term which is called 50 Mbps. And those are two different terminologies. All right? So the small m says megabits per second, and the big M is megabytes per second. And those are two very different things. And right now, you cannot do any broadcast below that. So kung nandun ka sa 256, wala ka ng pag-asa. Why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this because it is very relevant sa ating usapan. Compare this with radio. All right? So that is internet versus radio and TV. What do you get from radio and TV that you do not get from the internet? What's the difference between the two? Old and new? si paring Noy, inabot pa niya yung 56 kbps na dial-up. Kailangan mo ng modem niya na Motorola, yun yung maganda doon, no? Naalala mo pa yun, pare ko na yung tutunog pa yung okay? And yung 56 kbps na was already very strong, and yung 256 ko was, ano na to, enterprise level na to, pare. Ano na to, kailangan to may kontrata. Mahal. Isipin mo ang bayad namin ata, nasa mga, if I'm not mistaken, 30,000 a month for 256 kbps. Okay? And hindi yan hindi yan connection to the internet. It's just a point-to-point network communication. Alright, gandang gabi. So, what do you think is the difference between internet, radio, and TV? Ano yata yan, sir? Dahil ko yata sa comment down ni Attorney Trixie about congratulations statement ni Miss Maharlika na hindi naman po dahil, ilabas natin, kasi hindi naman po dahil nakapatay si Doc Yumol. Ay, ito ba yung yung pinapaimbestigahan na na editor? Is that the one? I read that. Kaya nag-congratulate yung si Miss Maharlika kay Doc Yumol. No, it's a different person. Okay, hindi naman yan. Iba naman. Alright. I want to talk about that pero not now. In fact, I want to write about this guy because unfortunately, I had, kung sino man sa inyo nakakaalala, I had a small fight with this Doc Yumol, and we ended up with a very good gentlemanly exchange of not apologies but mutual understanding. Okay, so sayang. By the way, can you tell me if you are seeing this text that I'm writing clearly? Because the last time when we reviewed the video, wala pala talaga nakikita. Can you see this clearly? So JP, walang instant kaibigan sa radio at TV. Sa internet, pwede ka kaagad. Very good, kuya ko to. Pusa, kuha mo, pare. Sabi ni Kuya Kot. Walang instant kaibigan sa radio at sa TV. Sa internet, pwede ka agad makakuha ng ka-eyeball. Oo. Alam nyo ba yung ano? Okay, so I used to manage radio na may TV station na maliit. And alam niyo yung mga DJs at saka mga babae, lalaki, no? They become instant pantasya. Lalo na in small cities or small provinces. Ano yun sila? They're celebrities na hindi sila yung tipong celebrities na hinahangaan sa malalaking networks o sa malayong yung mga artista na hindi mo kasi sila nakikita. So sa sobrang layo, wala kayong tsansang mag-eyeball, di ba, Kuya Colt? No? No eyeball. Pero kapag ang isang radio personality or local TV personality ay parang accessible. Nakikita niyo sa daan, ng mga lengke, na iimbitahan yung mag-speech. Sabi ni Kuya Noy, yes, kita ang mga text. Okay, very good. Okay, so, wow, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am Nila. So, okay. Sila ang nagkakaroon ng maraming ka-eyeball. Pero tama to si Dennis Ronda. Sa internet, nagkaka-eyeball yung mga users. And it's very seldom na yung mga relationships ay nabubuo through radio, except yung alam mo yun, nagpapagreet sa radio ng yung parang regards. Naalala niyo sa high school, regards daw, sabi ni Kuya Dennis kay Kuya Greg. Kuya Greg, eyeball. Diba? Si RJ Peralta, radio and TV, limited lang yung time allotted, kaya compressed ang news tapos wala pang replays. Once aired, it's as good as gone. Good point. Okay? Dito sa internet, we have this automatic parang recording. And meron kang ang tawag natin dati dyan is pay-per-view or view on demand, VOD, no? Na naging yan dati, sikat nung panahon ng cable TV and satellite TV, na pwede kang mag-play ng video on demand. Mahal yun, may bayad yun. So why are we talking about all of these things? We started our discussions with Attorney Ahmed, and we also discussed yung case of Chavez versus sino nga ba yun na Pinoy paparazzi versus Gonzales, who was the Justice Secretary, no? Chavez versus Gonzales about the Hello Garcia scandal. Remember we talked about that and we discussed yung mga salient pronouncements ng Supreme Court about the protection of freedom of speech and the meaning of protection of the freedom of the press, and why it is different ang level of scrutiny and censorship na pwedeng gawin on radio and TV versus that of the newspapers. Do you remember that? Or hindi nyo naabutan? Kung hindi nyo naabutan, manood kayo mga old, kasi 2 oras yun. So, thank you for everyone here, no? So, sana may makahabol. Alright, now, how about the internet? The internet now, okay, sino ba yung dial-up, ka-dial-up ko dati? The internet now is enabling the live transmission of audio only, or audio and video, which was not present noong nagsimula ang internet na dial-up. Sino yung kanina again, I'll go up, si Kuya Greg, no? Remember Kuya Greg, maybe we can confirm na nung panahon, nung araw, when the internet was introduced to the rest of the world, uh, that was, I remember dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, that was about 1992 or maybe 1991. Alright? Yan, Netscape Navigator, wala pa si Friendster noon. No? Yung Netscape Navigator, yan yung yung letter N na meron parang gano'n, no? That is the first, the first search engine I ever used na graphical user interface. So what you see in a computer now na may Windows, okay, that was not what it looked like when the internet was introduced. Okay, so you know the history of the internet, right? The internet was first developed by the military for their own communications as a way of communicating, transmitting data na maaring in the form of audio or video. Alright? And yan, no? And then when it was released to the world, the three things that caught the attention of everyone was first, yung itong Netscape na sinasabi ni Kuya Brian, no? Yung Netscape na yan was the old Google. And when you type something there, it will show you some results, and then you click it, wow, para ka na sa library, and you can read. Napakadalang pandati nung video. And if I'm not going to hurt anybody's sensibilities, the most video traffic sa internet noon was porn. Sino si Kuya Brian? Kuya Brian, will you confirm that, Kuya Brian? Ha? Kasi there was nothing really to watch, like mga live basketball, live news, no. The mainstream media, they were so aloof. No? Itong radio and TV natin, they never saw the immediate potential. In fact, it was just like, okay, we can use that for our own transmission of data internally among our stations, which are networked all over the country, and then later on, meron na sila mga network all over the world. So that is what they use to transmit una yung mga mga playlist, mga materials, may music na na-record dito sa, kasi dati when you distribute music from let's say for example dito sa atin, no, from Manila, yung mga recording companies, they had to send the discs to the radio stations so that their music will hopefully be played and heard by the people in that place, so that those discs na being sold in the local record bar will sell out. That is how music was sold before. Yes, I agree. Sabi ni Kuya Nol, no? I agree. Picture po. Yeah, takes ages to assemble, and then picture pa lang yun, no? And then ito, ano sabi nito si search lang ang internet noon, Netscape. Ang video noon, wayan. That's true. In fact, without porn, there would be no internet now. There would be no fire. But there was one comment there which is also very important. This one from Francis. Etong ICRC. Yung ICRC, yung napalitan nyo ng MIRC and then ICQ. Pinagsama mo ata yung MIRC at saka ICQ. Those are two things. Yung si ICQ, yung ICQ. So ICQ, but it's really ICQ. And then yung MIRC, which is just a chat-based, like a Discord. Yeah, my son is using Discord over there. Okay, it's like Discord. You can chat. Right. Why is this very important? These are the precursors of what we have now. noon, you can really dichotomize the difference between these services. Okay, I will put a line para para magkaroon tayo ng magandang malinaw na usapan tungkol dito. Okay, there was a remarkable difference in terms of service. Okay, the service ng pinoprovide nitong isa is telecom service or the telecommunication service. And then yung tong radio and TV was broadcast service. So, what does that mean? When you say kasi, di ba sabi natin, no? Naalala nyo yung part dun sa decision ng Supreme Court dun sa Chavez versus versus Secretary of Justice, yung communication na private, which is like, kung kunwari kami ni Sir Brian, ay nag-uusap na kaming dalawa lang, all our talk is not publicity, not a publication. So kahit na sino pa yung aming pagchismisan, hindi kami pwedeng kasuhan ng libel nung pinagchichismisan naming dalawa. No? Okay? Let's say for example, dati, kung ito ay isang chat room, pwede tayong mag-usap-usap sa ICQ privately without anyone else being able to read that, because pag inoff ko na yung aking ICQ, inoff mo na rin yung sayo, all of those things will be, for the eyes of the public, deleted or hindi siya pinapublish. Unlike this one, what we post here will stay on my wall and then it will be viewable to everyone, then it becomes a publication. Now, what is the difference between a telecom and a broadcast in terms of service? And if you know, magkaiba yung mga batas covering them. Telecoms, okay, sabi ni basahin ko muna. So JP, how about the break, patch up, copy, 10-4? Ano yan? Ano yan? That is the precursor naman nitong, okay. Ilagay natin yan because dito yan siya magfo-fall, no? Yan yung community radio. Community radio, no? All right. Now, this one is an it's a twin, no? In between to see community ham radio. All right. Why? All right. Tanggalin ko muna to So, if you remember those React, yung mga grupo na ganon, they are communicating in a semi-public channel. But, hindi pa rin siya katulad ditong broadcast. Okay, what is the difference of broadcast? Broadcast, when it transmits from a point, its signal goes until the edge of the service area na kino-cover ng power ng transmitter, and any unit that has the capability of receiving its signal on that particular channel or frequency can hear whatever is transmitted from that station. Kaya siya tinatawag na broadcast. This station has no capability of stopping anyone from receiving its signal within its service area. So that is pure publication. Whatever goes out of this station, that speech radiates. Pero sabi nga kanina, it will be gone in an instant. But whoever hears it with a radio or a TV on that particular channel will hear it without any warning, without them even wanting. Diba? Alam mo ba kung anong next word na sasabihin ni Mike Enriquez or ni Arnold Clavio or ni Brother Kiboloy or ni whoever's on radio? No, you don't, right? So whatever they say comes to you without you knowing what's next. So broadcast is a pure public good. Pag lumabas yung isang signal from its tower, from the speaker's mouth or from the, wag na natin gawin kasi pwede ka naman mag-tape, no? From the source of the information, when it goes out of the transmission tower, it becomes pure viral. Boom! In blasts, the signal goes out and it cannot be stopped. And whoever is able to receive that signal will hear or get to know that information. Now, the difference with telecom is it's point to point. Like, when you make a call, it may be so long, but kayong dalawa lang ang nag-uusap. When you make a group call, kayong tatlo lang, kayong lima lang, or it's a limited number of people involved. Now, itong radio 10 codes also has that channel thing. But since those channels are technically private channels, dahil ina-applyan yun ng lisensya, yung kunwari, bawat frequency ng channel, meron yan siya dapat na clearance from the NTC dun sa local area. So, yung mga nakakagamit lang dapat ng channel na yan are those who are authorized to receive it. So, whatever you broadcast in the channel, makakatanggap lang nun ay meron yung mga taong merong unit which is configured for the channel. Kung sino sa inyo yung pamilyar sa sa CB, it's channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hanggang 40 ata yung CB or 48. Pero yung mga VHF at saka yung ano yung mas mataas sa VHF? Yung meron na bang gigahertz na mga radio nun? No, I think they were just in the VHF level. So yung mga channel ng 144.7, mga ganon, no? Above the frequencies of your radio station. And some are below. Yung ham was below. That signal only transmits radially, yes, but kailangan kasi may lisensya ka doon. So hindi siya public broadcast and hindi mo siya ma-expect na everyone has that radio on that particular channel. And then, meron pang mga directionality yung antennas na ginagamit yan. So, kunwari, yan ay relay between this group here na may kausap sila from another city which is about 30 kilometers away, and then meron silang transmission na i-relay nila, may lisensya sila dyan. So, whatever goes through there, it's supposedly not for the public to know. Tama? So, you can talk things there that are not publications. So, wala kang libel dyan, wala kang regulation dyan, that all becomes covered with the freedom of speech. So, hindi siya covered the freedom of the press. So, if you will look at that dichotomy, the freedom of speech is actually a private protection. No? But the freedom of the press involves the use of speech, pero ang kanyang pinoprotect is a public good. Public good meaning yung siniservisyohan ng information na yan is not the private communication of one or two persons, but one person talking. Ang pinoprotektahan is the right of everybody else to hear that. Now, if that person uses it nefariously for whatever purpose na hindi sangayon sa public morals or public standards ng what you can say or what you cannot say. Like for example, inciting for sedition siya doon, mananagot siya. Okay? Siya ang mananagot. Now, just remove that for a while, no? What I want you to focus now is, where is the internet in those two? Two categories. Itong internet na alam natin ngayon, the type of communication that we do here. Like what I'm doing now is like TV, but it's more than TV in fact. You don't get to tell Mike Enriquez or whoever, and then him being able to pull up your talk and then respond to you. You cannot do this regularly on TV. Tama? And it's not even possible to do this on radio because radio you have no video. So this is something new, something different. A mix between pure public good and private good. So if the court said, in that case that we talked about, that the freedom of speech, which is private, is inviolable, and the freedom of the press must only be violated in very limited instances, which are specifically defined by law, like your cyber libel law. Yan, yung sinasabi niyang citizens ban, that is private. Itong walkie-talkie, that is private. O yun, may UHF. Pero itong mga gumagamit ng UHF, that is private. But these are the precursors of the type of communication you get using the internet. Now, if, okay, palitan natin yung ating laman dito. Erase. Ha? Erase natin yan. If the speech is protected, and that's private, and the press, which is publication, is uh, protected for the sake of the public. Okay? For itong una is for private, and then this one is for the public good. In it. Then we said that the internet communication is a cross or a bridge between these two. All right? The government's ability to interfere with private communications has been clearly stated na wala. Okay? Tingnan natin dito government. Okay? Government, no. Pwedeng pakialaman ng gobyerno yan. Hindi ka pwedeng gumawa ng batas, di ba? No law shall be passed abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. Dito, government, limited. Kasi merong mga instances na pwede siyang gamitin for purposes na hindi intended. Now, labas natin yan dito. Alright. Wait. Share screen. Tab. And there you go. Alright. So, Oh. Wait. There. Okay. So if your government regulation is limited here and then prohibited there, then the question is, why can private actors regulate internet? That is actually a very, very big, anong tawag dyan? Anong tawag dyan, Kuya Coach? Anomaly. Tama ba? Tama ba sa ano? Does this make sense sa inyong logic? If we say that speech and press freedoms are both exercised in these communications that we have now over the internet, and in one of each of those two, government has no power or very limited power, then why can private actors actually have unlimited regulatory power over communications in the internet? Nawawala yung video. Nawawala na naman. Is my signal getting bad again? Oh. So, hindi. Kaya nga, please confirm. Are you seeing this now? Oops, nawawala nga. Okay. Is it there? I think so. Tama ba? Malabo ba yung video ko? No, no, I'm asking. Is the video very low, gritty and what? Can you tell me the quality of the video because I wouldn't be able to see until after this one. Okay, okay lang. All right, very good. Good, good, good. Now, this is a big question that is in the middle of a global controversy right now. If we are actually against what, okay, but here, this is now what we have been discussing, no? This is where Rexha is concerned. Wag natin sabihin ganyan. This is where the ano yan, the pluralist elitists wants to elitist wants to control. Now, is she alone? As we said, no. And earlier, I had the realization. Her local handlers or her local enablers are all in UP. Kuya Kot, Kuya Kot, Kuya Kot. Kuya Kot, bayag ka ba doon sa sinabi ko? They're all in UP. UP. My alma mater. Okay? Okay, not UP itself, not UP itself. Let me clear that up. With help of, with some, okay? UP, wag natin sabihin administration. That's a hasty general. UP personalities. Mostly professors. One of them, my friend. Okay. And of course, we know now the international, okay, media, local and international media. And then there's also this propaganda and funding groups. No? Fund groups. Ano ba tawag dyan? Funders. Right. They have an agenda. What is that agenda? Their agenda now, I don't care what they want to achieve at the end of the day, but their agenda that is clear to all of us is they want to silence this kind of communication. And there is a logic into it. Okay, let's understand their logic. Reading from their own documents, you will see that in 2016 they were surprised. Okay, in fact, they would even admit that they underestimated it, and they underestimated the power of social media, and then they were surprised that it actually destroyed all the communications theories that were already in place sa profesyon ng propaganda na makikita mong buhay na buhay sa Makati. At ang kanilang ang tawag ng kanilang profession siya underestimated and actually made obsolete. Profession of obsolete. Hindi obsolete. Grabe ka naman. Obsolete. The profession of strategic communications. Alam mo yung mga ganyan na trabaho dati, communications, yung mga ganito. Ang lalaki ng sweldo niyan sa Makati, yung mga ad agencies, sino sa inyo may mga kakilalang sino sa inyo may mga kakilalang nagtatrabaho sa ad agencies, yung mga media specialist, yung mga, alam mo, may mga kanya-kanyang mga subspecialization yan. Nawala sila lahat. Dahil ito, si Klaus, si Andy Fern, si Tim, si Severa, si James, si Rocky, nakahanap tayo ng ibang paraan mag-usap-usap na hindi na tayo nakikinig sa kanila. So as what I have always been describing this, which is not my original term, prosumers or the producers took over the market. And obviously, they complained. And the 2022 elections, okay, lagay natin dito in between, no? Period of complaint. This is the period of realization. And then in 2022, they tried to play the game. But I tried to manipulate the emerging social media communications. And in the end, they realized this is not for us. This is not our cup of tea. Right? Rappler, Rappler got closed eventually. Diba? Rappler is a way of entering the, kumbaga, infiltrating this emerging field. So you will notice that between these periods, this was the time when even in the US or in big countries, saka pa lang nagsipasukan yung mga mainstream media into live video transmissions of their own content. Don't you see? Don't you remember? Don't you see that? So they're just beginning to embrace it, and Rappler was there ahead of time in 2012 actually, no? Before the 2016 problem. Si Manyares naman is a visionary. All right? Visionary. Of course, you're coming from ABS-CBN. You are in you are respondents with Eugenio Lopez in labor cases for ABS-CBN. If you look it up in the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeals, yeah, you get the ABS-CBN training, which is very necessary for being a visionary. So she was there first, tried to infiltrate, and now she's closed down. So this is not their cup of tea. They cannot play this. What do they want to do? All right. I just realized this is not just a masscom issue. No? Si masscom, let's look at this in the academic perspective. Si masscom, ang kanyang approach dyan is, ano ba tawag nila dyan? The truth, a fight against disinformation, and we talked about the gatekeepers and the gatekeeper theory. And then you will now see their elitist, what do you call this? Is it a mentality? Tama ba yun? Tama ba yung mentality or their elitist attitude? No? Thinking that since they are the quote-unquote licensed operators of radio stations and newspapers, they're the only legitimate media, and these so-called bloggers against yung tinatawag nilang bloggers na marang sa mga media naman ang tawag dyan ay hausyaw. Right? Bakit tayo hausyaw para sa kanila? Sa amin dati, when I was still in radio, well, our network was among the biggest networks at that time. We had 50 plus radio stations all over the country. At one point in time, it was actually the biggest network. So anyone who represented or alam mo yan, is parang moonlighting in a radio station like what Attorney Ahmed and I do in DWIZ. At least nga naman sa amin, noon time, yung aming program. Yung iba yung mga panggabi, yung bumibili ng black time and then nagpapakilala sa labas na reporter or anchor, alam mo yun, and then magsusot ng mga vest, ganyan. Press! Di ba? And ang alam mo lang naman, pupunta lang yan siya sa mga press conference para kumain. At saka kung may pinamimigay na sobre, tatanggap. Ang tawag dyan, house show. Okay? House show. Now, ganun ang treatment nila sa atin. Yung parang illegitimate na mga players. Why do they have this kind of attitude? Because ang profession kasi na yan, sinasabi ko na, we have to respect that these people who are in the limelight of that profession, they do not reach those positions na dahil lang pogi sila. No. Look at our own media industry here in the Philippines. Wala ka naman makikita dyan batang fresh graduate, nakakaupo, nag-newscast dyan sa regular nightly, No. Because it takes years of training for you to come imbibe that quick self-check or tawag dyan is self-regulation. No? Na hindi ka magkamali kasi sinasabi nga natin, very dangerous ang broadcast dahil pagkalabas ng salita mula sa iyong bibig, kung ikaw ay mapagmura, nakakapagmura ka dun. At kung ang minura mo ay isang taong maaari kang patayin, di ba? Kung ang minura mo ay isang okay lang kung ikaw ang minura ni Rodrigo Duterte, pero kung siya yung minura-mura mo sa radyo, bay, delikado yan sa buhay mo. Di ba? Maybe not from him, but from people who look up to him. Di ba? Na ayaw nila na ini-insulto yung taong nirerespeto nila. And you know, those speech that can incite people into anger, incite people to revolt. All right? Those are very, very hard things to learn on the fly. Kaya kailangan mo yan matututunan by observing the pros, by continuous training. Merong tinatawag ng mga internal rules, internal codes of conduct, ethics, ang tindi niyan. For that, you can really respect naman yung mga tao dyan sa broadcast industry. But, that doesn't teach them morality. Right. Our mainstream media follows codes and rules that are tantamount to censorship. But these are actually guidelines for self-regulation. Self-regulation is very important. And that is what they do not see in bloggers. In this industry that we have. Okay, for a simple dati, sabi dito, for a simple reason, dati sa mainstream media, may pera yung vloggers daw, pero puro libre. Just asking, okay, wait. I seldom hear this point coming from the MSM na yung perang kinikita ng mga vloggers. From where? Okay? From where? Why? To a vlogger siguro, if you are one, or if one of you here is listening. Si Adrian is here. Adrian, I can swing in. Nandun ka naman sa ating billing eh. The problem with the PHMSM is they can't self-regulate their bosses precisely. All right. This self-regulation stops an individual reporter, an individual anchor, or an individual news writer from committing violations of those codes. Because the government itself, because of its limited authority to censor or to conduct prior censorship on the players of this industry, ito ay kumbaga dinedevolve sa mga organizations like the KBP, like the National Press Club, like yung mga grupo. Meron silang mga code na sinusunod, pinapatupad sa kanilang mga miyembro para mag-self-regulate and they do not commit any so that they will not harm social order, our values, which includes our culture, our whatever we hold dear in that place, and yung uh, peace. No? Okay? So, with just this very, very broad descriptions, you know what you cannot say or do. Tama ba? It's very easy. From those sa very, very simple criteria, you know what you can say or do on air or not. And when you violate that, the government doesn't even have to do anything to you. Your boss will just suspend you. That's why they came up with the KBP to regulate the broadcasters. Yeah, the KBP is actually a form of compromise between the broadcasters and uh, Ferdinand Marcos. No, because Ferdinand Marcos was not really against all of them. He was just against those who were using their media platforms against the stability of his government. And you know who they are, who they were. And you know that it was Enrile who sequestered ABS-CBN, which he denied in Congress. Okay, I will not go there. Now, all right. Oo nga no, he's now a government employee. So he is now required to answer within 15 days if I write him, Mr. Enrile, can you really state again whether you were ordered by Ferdinand Marcos to sequester ABS-CBN in General Order Number dash A. Aha! Kasi ang binabanggit niya, yung original lang, yung pinapa-close lang lahat sa buong Pilipinas. Hindi niya binabanggit yung pangalawa, yung may dash A, na I'm ordering you, Juan Ponce Enrile, to sequester two, not just one, networks. Again, I'll give you a link. Try to connect to this. Just use what you call this? Use a uh, Google browser or something like that. Let me see if I can still get it. Okay. All right. So I'll just talk while I'm doing it. All right. Now, self-regulation is important, and that's what they think separates them from us. Okay, you will see that ako mismo, I don't curse, I don't use harsh language in my own blogs because after years of coming from that industry, I know what it costs. Not only not only for your own social, alam mo yun, social place in society, but yun, ito kasi when you publicize these things, ang backlash nito sa ano mo, sa reputasyon mo and sa effectivity mo sa communications world, napakalaking negative unless panindigan mo talaga na yun yung character mo. Just like one whole family, di ba? Who exhibit as their trademark yung kanilang harsh and brash na pananalita. Tama? And that is now a play acting. Right? So, that is what they think. And MSM thinks that they are superior because of that. But, okay, it's just a show. That's not true. The difference between MSM and bloggers is that bloggers talk about anything, MSM is edited. Kung ikaw ay manonood ngayon na, excuse me po sa mga babaeng nanonood, at saka may mga bata ba tayo dito? Alright, ganito na lang, we are not in the mainstream media right now, so just like what we talked earlier, internet internet video was popularized by porn, ito is censored, ito ay uncensored. O sino nakakaintindi dyan? Di ba? So, Adrian, I will send you the link now in your messenger. I hope I can see you. All right. So, what do we mean by edited? And this one is uncensored. Ito kasi, kayang i-control what information goes out of all the players in the industry. Gets? Gets? Is that, do you understand that or do I have to elucidate? Kasi, they are competitors, yes. But as an industry, they all share the same values and they hold true the uh, same industries to protect, the same factions to side with, right? So all of them competing against each other have aligning, all right, MSM. Paano ba ako maglagay dito ng ano? And I put a table. Insert table. Yan. Insert table tayo. I'll put that too. Yeah, maybe that. There you go. So MSM versus bloggers, they are, shall we call it, they are competitors, but they are also collaborators. So, para siyang co-option. Co-op yan. Okay? Ang mga vloggers are totally unregulated, unruly. Maaring meron dyan, wala ka talagang kontrol ko ng pagsasabi niya. That is the problem. Why? As we said, this one is a prosumer world. Pwede kong palang dalhin dito. Yun, pero hindi na ako lilipat. Oops, sorry. Okay, there you go. All right, this one is a prosumer, producer and consumer market. And this one is what your economists in UP would call supply, supply, what's the term again? Tagal ko na kasi hindi nag-echo eh. Kaya nung nakita ko kanina sa friend ko, oh my gosh, this is the term of my industry. It's a supply side information market. A supply driven, ay gali, info market. Okay, sino sa inyo ang nagtatrabaho sa ngayon sa mga multinationals and service-oriented na mga companies? Oops, why is this so big? Where did you go? Sino sa inyo? Ha? Yung mga nagwo-work sa Hypocrisy? Adrian, wait lang ha, Adrian. Hindi mo pa ba natanggap, Adrian? Wait, hindi pala ako to. Wait lang. I need to shift to another account. My God, how do I shift to another account? La 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 la. There you go. All right. This supply-driven info is a long-forgotten terminology. Do you even remember hearing this word, supply-driven? Di ba ang naririnig na lang natin sa mga kumpanya, sa mga speech, sa mga pep talk, demand-driven? Ha? Can you see the difference? A demand-driven, uh, the demand-driven approach is now the standard, and nobody even thinks about this anymore. And when I heard this, shit, it dawned on me. Yeah, they all coincide with their elitist moves. This is what they want. They want the information industry to go back to its old structure where these people in mainstream media are the only ones who are supplying all the information that you, me, and everyone else may be able to consume. Don't you think that's such a bitchy way to view this world? Why is that? Saan yan dito sa kanilang game plan? Okay? As we said, yung period ng yung period ng 2016 to 2022 was their realization time. Now, after they lost again, they must have made that decision that we cannot wait for the next election to move against these people. We must move against them now na, while they still can. Alright. Adrian, wait lang Adrian. I-friend kita dito sa isa kong account ha. Kasi yun yung nakalagay dito eh. Adrian Pascual. Okay, and then I'll send you the link. Yung ano lang naman yan, isang dangkal din yan. One dangkal din yung magsisend sa'yo, hindi yung pangalan ko. Alright, and I'm sending it to you now. Alright, there you go. So, this supply-driven approach is the subject of this criticism, which I will try to pull up here. Okay, made by a group called Article 19, Human Rights, and Article 19 versus supply-driven media. Yeah, wait. Let me just open it for a while. Or maybe not there. I'll just get it from here. And send ko na yun sa sarili ko eh. But even pala itong United Nations backed na group which they call Article 19. What is Article 19, by the way? Article 19, if you look at the human rights, okay, what is it? Let me pull it up. Adrian, are you connecting? All right. Let me just Article 19 of human rights. Human rights. Is it showing? Let me check. Where are you? No. All right, I'll just copy it there. Sige my friend. How are you? Sa ating mga mga nakikinig dyan, ng mga taga Rappler who's still there listening, and mga taga UP nakikinig sa College of Mass Communications, mga student ni Professor Chua, and yung professor ni okay, who is this Professor Chua? I was asking a friend kanina who is this Professor Chua? Why do I find her name in almost all publication that needs parang, what do you call this? Parang an imprimatur of authority, you will see that name. Right? The name Professor Chua is everywhere in Rappler and other mga elitist na mga propaganda papers. So it says there, the freedom of expression. Is it showing? I hope so. The freedom of expression Everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media and regardless of frontiers. So, what does this mean? They are saying that unlike our constitution, which is very vague and very limited yung coverage ng word na press, because this is not really a press, di ba? As I've shown you earlier, internet speech is not really press, but that comes yung ating constitutional provision. Ang nauna niyan or parang pinaka-grandfather niyan in international law is this United Nations Declaration Human Right number 19 on freedom of expression. You know? It says there, regardless of frontiers. And they have come up with several papers denouncing yung mga moves of private entities, especially those social media entities who are wantonly and privately curtailing people's rights on freedom of expression and condemning them. So ibig sabihin, we are not alone. Alright? In the international world, meron din palang may kaaway pala sila. Ha? Wala kang natanggap, Adrian, na ang sender ay isang dambana or one dangkal. JP. Yan, mag-text muna ako sa'yo. Yan, mag-message lang ako. Yan, you should be able to receive that. This is you. Yeah, same. Yep. You should have received it, but not. Okay. Right. There's another way. Right. Pero try mo. Open your messenger. Okay? Now, what do we realize with this one? As we have earlier discussed, etong threat ni Maria Reza appeared to be a joke at the beginning. Okay, we never really saw this as a legitimate, alam yun, concern for anyone until we felt its effects. Kasi obviously she got the ears of the eyes and ears and the trust of these institutions which are tapped by Facebook, which, okay, for the sake of those who are new, we have established also from our previous videos that the relationship goes like this also to Facebook, which is now the number one source, the number one platform for social media, almost tying up with YouTube in terms of usage. Pero si YouTube kasi medyo mahirap siyang pasukin ng kahit sino. But here, anyone can just write. So Facebook taps what we call the International Fact-Checking Network, IFCN, and they have a group called the Pointer who hires now the international representatives ng grupo na yan who will do the fact-checking on behalf of Facebook. Yan. We welcome natin si Adrian. Sana may audio ka, Adrian. So try to speak as you turn on your camera. You're already there. When you speak out, just do it. Okay? And then you can add or you can interact. Okay? So si Facebook, IFCN, Pointer now hires for the Philippines, Rattler, and then later on, Verifiles, and then they are now building that group which we have been discussing also called Philippine Fact-Checking Incubator. And that is where they are practicing there. Dito si Minda News, si Star, those things that I have been writing about, okay, they all now fuse together as one whole big approach to control not our government, but first, the public's mind. Adrian, you have a mic. Can you speak? Adrian, you are not muted. You can speak. You can put audio. Hello. Try it. Hmm. Okay, let's wait for Adrian to get his stuff on So, mayong gabi, Dai. So, mainstream media is dead. No, 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 no. Uh, they're not because they can easily transform. All right. As we said kanina, saan ba yung natin, ating table? No? Let's go back to the table. In our table, we said that itong grupo nila is supply driven, okay? And then you have here the, the most important distinction, okay? Dito sa supply driven, it's a business, right? Dito, it can be a hobby or a vocation or an advocacy, and at the very least, business. Okay. Any one of you here, if you're offered 1 million to just say for a month that Kuya Adrian is the most handsome blogger on the internet, would you agree to doing it? Huh? If any one of you here will be offered 1 million just to make a blog about that every day for 1 month, that would be a big amount for any one of us. But any one of them cannot even take it because they have this ethics, kuno. But no, it is a business decision that no one in that industry who is not authorized to transact advertising can just get these kinds of transactions. No, you have to go through management. It's an organized business. And if they can pay you to say something, the media can also be paid to stay quiet. And because it's institutional, and institutions do not necessarily have feelings or morality, it only cares about, at the end of the day, the bottom line. Right? Just the bottom line. Tama? Adrian, can you talk? Just try it. Magsalita ka lang. Your mic is on. You can actually be heard. So when you compare that with us in this industry, we are both a threat and a potential source of vibrant, new, and fresh content for the public. Tama? Pero, ang problema din, if you will kill everyone else just because you don't like this and you just want this MSM, then you will run the risk now of yung kinatatakutan natin na continuation or perpetration nitong ating sistema na kinagisnan, which is yung ating kontroladong pag-iisip. At hindi natin ma tawag nito, hindi natin alpasan na patuloy na ano tawag dyan? Pangangamuhan sa ating mga neo-kolonyalistang kapwa Pilipino. Okay? So, the internet by itself, the technology by itself, is actually, kumbaga, separate from these actors who are now playing that role of private regulators. So labas dyan si PLDT, labas si Globe, labas si Dito Telecoms. Kasi yung sa kanila, yun lang yung carrier, all right? The internet itself, the signal, okay, the signal service has nothing to do with the content, but the content is running through these platforms that we have. Adrian, why are you muted? Magsalita ka daw. Just speak out. Go ahead. Wala kang bang video na nakukuha, Adrian? Maybe we should practice. All right. So the yan, like and share. All right. Ang sabi dito na mainstream media is dead. It's not that easy to declare them as dead because kumbaga, maybe the most appropriate treatment will be mainstream media will be overrun by something else. But this social media platform we are having now with all of these unregulated and uncontrollable sources of information also gives them now the right or the mission, sabi ni Maria Recichen, the mission to counter this threat because they see this as a threat, not just because of the monetary or the financial aspect, because they know that they can make so much money, but compared to all of these people compared. Why? Because of their professionalism and their clout in the among the targeted markets ng kanilang mga advertisers. They are sure of advertising income. They can survive on that aspect. But what they really see as a danger in this group of bloggers right now is yung unregulated part. All right. I posted when was that? Yesterday in my own yung tungkol dun sa ROTC girl, who commented that ROTC, sabi niya, I'll just read kasi mahirap na, magsabi tayo ng hindi niya sinabi. We have to be very careful. Kaya nga, when we quote Maria Reza here, we don't put words into her mouth. We read her words mismo. Kasi mahirap na yung i-interpret mo yung kanyang sinabi na hindi direkta. Mahirap yun. Dapat eksakto. Kung ano yung kanyang sinabi, yun yung kanyang sinabi. Kasi may transcription naman eh. Now, that girl said, all right, here, I think this is the one. A girl said that she was commenting against the statement of the president, and the president was saying that he was going to endorse the legislation for the resumption of mandating ROTC for the purpose of ano ba yung sabi niya? Developing, what did he say specifically? Ang sinabi niya is to develop, ang liit naman ng aking post dito sa papel. Alright. Ano ba to? So nagsisend ng photo si Adrian. What is it? You can speak. Oh, Adrian, go. Try it. Sige. Can you speak out? Wala kang audio niya. I think you have to adjust your mic. So ang sabi nitong babae, no, basta ang sinasabi niya, the president is wrong. Ang purpose daw ng ROTC is to develop, what did she say? Impunity and a culture of violence and whatever it was, no? Impunity, culture of violence, and then blind obedience, right? Now, where did she get all of those things? Wala. No basis whatsoever. And why would a blogger with 1 million followers put that up without even making any alam mo yun, any position, whether he believes or not, or discredits this position. Now, this uh, unknown or uncertain actions by bloggers is actually giving these people like Maria Reza the the nerve, the nerve to declare themselves the police pangkalawakan ng ating industriya. Sabi ni Adrian, devices not connected ka daw. Let's let's practice this kasi napansin niyo yung aming logo. Yung logo namin na nakasulat doon AGP, JP, and AP. Yung AP is Adrian. And we cannot get him because I think Adrian kasi is in you're abroad, Adrian, right? Can you put in the yeah, I'm putting you here, and you see your logo here. If you try to speak out, I should be able to hear you. If you have already configured your microphone. Okay? Now, so do you have any questions so far? Can you type them? Still waiting for reply. Oh, all right. Can you type out your questions here sa ating comments so that maybe we can answer it para makita niyo lang no, or ma-review natin in the internet side. There is that part where you and the service provider engage into a contract for that line or for that plan or for that SIM card or service. Hiwala yun. That's the technology side. That's the telecom side of the technology. And then, on top of that, comes a service which enables you to be a recipient or a producer or a consumer of information, a prosumer of information. Now, this is power to everyone. Ito yung power to the nation na sinasabi. Okay? And that power is hopefully usable for good. But just like anything else, tabula rasa, sabi nila. No? You do not know whether the invention of this nail cutter will actually cause the end of the world. Diba? But it obviously did not, right? It's still cutting my nails. So, everything that is a product of science, everything that is a product of human mind, transformed into a good or service that has value and sellable and consumers buy it. So there's a market for it. Has a potential of being used either in a good way or in a bad way for society. Take for example, this medicines. This is good, right? Because this will cure you if you have a disease. But this packaging, when you throw this away, and actually destroy the environment. You see? This and this. Everything has two sides. Now, yung ating economy fails in so many respects in terms of regulating those things that actually hurt people, actually hurt the environment. But here is this girl with her backers in the academe and in the international community trying to manipulate our own media here. Okay, let me just point out that we are not alone. Si Facebook kasi, if I'm not wrong in my assessment, si Facebook is, tawag nito, he has a gun, a knife, and a time bomb and whatever in front of him in every country where he operates. He's making tons and tons of money all over the world. But, ang problema niya is he's now facing a lot of cases like, for example, in Myanmar, our own, uh, our own neighbor there. Maria Ressa is a very strong critic of Facebook. They blame Facebook's inability or failure to regulate daw the speech that passed through Facebook in Myanmar, which sort of gave impunity to whoever was responsible the massacres of those poor Muslim brothers natin din, in Rohingya. And he is now facing cases there. They were blamed for the US riots in the capital for not regulating speech. So, right now, wala siyang choice, hindi tanggapin niyang offer. Nick, tingin nga ako na, tanggapin niyang serbisyo ng mga babaeng, mga taong katulad nila so that he can have a way of washing his hands whenever something bad happens in that country and blaming him. So, I really cannot see a direct involvement by Facebook in all of these things that are throttling all of the networks that used to bind or bring all of us bored and alam mo yun yung mga taong nainis na sa panloloko nitong MSM. And before social media, we knew we were already being fooled by these people. Try mo naman ulit, Adrian. I know you're trying. You can actually configure it before you enter. No, so and I was there, and I was there. I also made some experiments. Alam mo yun, sisikatin mo yung isang konsepto na walang no harm, no harm. And I know it can be done in a small place, in a big place, in the whole country. And in a larger sense, the media is paid for that. Paid by, I think you're trying to talk. Sige nga, go ahead. I hear you. Go. Kaya mo yan. Adrian, go ahead. Hindi ka lang nagsusulat, bata. Nagsasalita ka rin. Kaya mo yan. You have a voice. Hindi kita isa-censor. Di ba? Who would like that? Sabi nga ni Maria Ressa, who would like to be talking in an empty church? And yet he wants to kill us all so that we will be dead in an empty church. Oh, it's your headphone. If you're using phone or any don't use a headphone. Just use your microphone and your it's good. Even your phone without a headphone, okay lang yan. Meron yan siyang automatic noise cancellation if you will try it. You don't have to use anything actually. Okay. So I was there. I've seen this done, and kumbaga how the MSM is in fact one of the biggest things that troubles yung mga nag-ooperate ng mga radio and TV station is how to keep their customers or their audience happy or keep on making them tune back to their station every time, every hour kasi yung bayad ng mga advertisers ay nakabase yan sa oras, and those times of the day must have audience. That's why they have to do all sorts of tricks like promo here, promo there. Kung sa TV yan, di ba, kulang na lang paghuhubarin mo yung mga artista dyan. Whatever brings everyone to watch. Without really any concern about the educational value, the cultural value, or whatever is developed by their content. Ang importante sa kanila is what is not said. or what it is not used for. Now, what it is used for, if it's for nothing, as long as it's popular, that's good because it sells. That is their basis of for judging what is good communications na supply driven. All right. Well, here tayo we are issue driven. We are passion driven, and we are we are maliban konti lang yun sa atin yung ano yung bayad driven. Tsaka isipin mo yung isang lalaki na nagko-komento sa YouTube na ay ano ang haba ng ano niya kasi yun daw ano yung mga vlogger na iba na kaaway niya na binayaran daw ni Isko ng 1 million. Do you know how small 1 million is para sa mga broadcasters na sikat? That's not even one day's one episode's income for one anchor who later became politician way back mga 10 years ago from ABS-CBN. One episode, mga 5, 7 million. And then itong mga vloggers natin na parang nabigyan daw ng 1 million yung mga kasamahan nila. And then ginagawa na ng issue. That's nothing. Pero ang difference is, in this side of the MSM, organized yan. Ethical yan. Kasi iba yung humahawak ng pera. Their hands are clean. And once itong mga tao nakikita nyo sa TV, their reputation is tarnished dahil tumanggap sila na, wala, patay ka na, you're out. Hindi ka na makakabangon dyan. And it's a very small world now. Wala ka nang pupuntahan talaga from there. So that's why they're confident that their players will toe the line, will stick to the narratives that are accepted. That we were, alam niyo na, yung buong kasaysayan natin, yung kung ano yung nasa balita nila na kailangan mong panindigan, na kung ang nangyari ay ano yun, backup permission, ano tawag dito? Backup, no permission allowed po? No, I think it is because I can put him up there, di ba? I can put him up there, but I think it's his configuration dun sa ano niya, sa kanyang gamit. But we will talk and we will make Adrian speak in the next episode, maybe tomorrow. Ha? Yun, no? Ang dami mo ng ano, ang dami mo ng cheerleaders. Adrian, you can do it. Adrian, you can do it. All right. But yun. So in this comment that mainstream media is dead, it will die. It will die. But they're not dying because of this mentality or these practices. No. This has been their practice for 100 years. And they're not dying because of that. They're dying because they will become obsolete by this new rough and rowdy crowd called bloggers. And for that purpose, if I may suggest, why don't we stop calling ourselves bloggers? And ang tawag dito na meron akong nabasa early on before bloggers became bloggers. There was a suggestion to call it a community reporters. Okay, and along that terminology, pwede rin siyang community journalist. What is the difference? Malaki. Journalist and the reporter, they do not do the same jobs in this industry. And I'm sure you know that, no? Yung mga reporters are the ones who are in the field. They get the report and they make straight news, no? Ang function nito is can I click on you? Click on you. Right, okay. So itong community reporters, they do straight news. Right? Okay. Ba't tayo pumunta doon? Okay, so community reporters, straight news, and then yung reporters, they do straight news, and journalists, they do articles. Like what Adrian and I do, we do articles, and then yung iba dyan ay hindi nila alam that sometimes they make reports. Okay, so now, I hope that was clear, and we have made this connection possible, no? Na itong ating internet should be viewed differently from the technical side and the content side. And in the content side, ay, watching from Jeddah, magandang gabi. Uy, Mr. President, ikaw ba yan? Sino ba to? Okay. Nasa Jeddah ka, Mr. President? Okay. So, the technical side and your relationship with the tower or with the technical provider ng inyong internet service is different from the services that you receive out of using that one. And that service is now a mixture of the services that you get from radio, TV, and print at the same time. Print also, no? Because newspapers are now available in your, in fact, sila yung naunang maggamit ng technology before radio or TV even came into the picture. So, because of that, dapat, di ba, kung ano yung rights, ano yung protected na yung treatment ng gobyerno sa kung nandun ka lang sa radyo or sa TV or sa print is applicable to everyone who does the same kind of things that they do there. But no, here, we are being regulated by a private entity, by private people with no authority whatsoever. In fact, they're even doing the same thing, censoring government itself. Shipin mo, i-fact check ka ng isang newspaper. Supreme Court, or hindi naman Supreme Court, Court of Appeals, imamanggal yung mga pinagsasabi mo ng isang reporter. How in the world can that even be possible? Maria Reza, Professor Chua, Professor Ong of Harvard. Hi, you're all welcome, and we want you to come and talk to us. Let's do one-on-one or two-on-two, whatever you like. You want the professor from Canberra also to join? Well and good. So, by the way, lastly, yung ating mga kaibigan, kung mapapanood nyo ito, no, sa Makabayan Black. Ha?
Ito, yun na boss.
Angulin mo yung speaker ko. Or
yes, hello.
Hinaan mo lang. Go.
Okay,
You
okay.
speak.
This is a lot better now.
Of course. Wala kang video?
Hello guys. Wala eh.
Where are you ba right now?
Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv. So, Adrian is ano ka ba? Mossad? O ano ka ba? Ano bang yung affiliation dyan? Are you with the Islamic group, the Christians, or the Jews?
The independent Filipino group.
Ayo. Doon tayo. So yun. Teka. If you can remove my yung feedback kasi.
Feedback ba?
Yeah, my voice is Yan, better. Sige, go.
Okay na.
Okay. Why don't
Okay,
you
why don't you
summarize?
summarize?
Hello. Okay. Is this better?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice topic natin, no? This is my first time, pero hello sa mga ilang naka-stay tuned pa rin. So, okay, about the hypocrisy of mainstream media in the Philippines. I had this, um, well, moment before. We used to like exchange topics or kuro-kuro sa Twitter before when I used to be with Twitter with uh, yung yung mga sikat na nasa Twitter na member ng mainstream media, yung especially yung tatlong women, sikat na mga gatekeepers daw sila. Isa international sikat, ang isa is also helping Facebook, and the other one is
Mm-hmm.
from that closed uh, TV station, no
Mm-hmm.
franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I asked them before sa Twitter, like, okay, so you're asking a lot of stuff from the government. That's okay because that's your job. But let me ask you, um, mayroon pa bang mga
Mm-hmm.
corrupt na
Mm-hmm.
members ng mainstream media in the Philippines? And they
Mm.
said yes.
Mm.
They said yes. So I asked them, can you name names? And surprisingly, same ang answer nila. That's not our job. So I asked them, so whose job is it? So you're asking the same things sa government, but at the same time, you're not doing it in your own ranks. So, so you already confirmed to me, and sa lahat ng nakakabasa nito, sabi ko sa Twitter, that there are corrupt mainstream media practitioners right now.
Mm.
Actually, tinanong ko din pala sila, sikat ba yung iba?
Yes.
Sabi nila, oo.
Yes.
Mm.
So, sabi ko, so what are we talking about here? Is this hypocrisy or what? So no,
Ah,
no, we're not. That's not our job.
correct. Kasi
So
as
right
Correct.
now, yung
Kasi as
isa is a gatekeeper working
mm,
together with Facebook. So di ba? Ang 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 danger diyan is that someone very hypocrite is gatekeeping.
correct.
correct.
And
And
okay, I will
okay,
give
I will give
I will teka lang.
I will teka lang.
Uh,
I'm
okay. Can
okay.
you
Can
reduce
you
the volume
reduce the
on
volume
Oh,
on
sure. Sige,
your
sige.
side?
for yung speaker yan
From
para hindi siya ma-feedback.
yung speaker yan. Para hindi siya
Nasa phone na lang kasi ako,
Yun.
ayaw mag-work sa laptop.
yun.
Okay. Now, I said I
Okay,
think
okay.
it's a
Now,
little bit
is it
better. Okay,
a little bit better? Okay?
I'll give you an example. You remember
I'll
that
give you an
issue
example.
on
Remember that issue
the
on
first Philip? I'll
the
mute you for
first
a while, Adrian.
Philip?
Okay,
I'll
wait
mute
lang. And then,
Adrian.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Ako na
and
lang
lang.
mag
And then,
no, okay. Oh yeah, para hindi mag-feedback. All right. The issue
correct.
with first.
The issue
Fi-
first.
oh my God, bakit nag-feedback pa rin ako? Where Nag-feedback ba ako sa sound nyo? Hindi na. Okay, I think na hindi na. Alright? Ha. Humina masyado yung audio ko because I had to adjust it. Wait lang ha. Sorry. There you go. Yan. So, the issue with the first Philippine Holdings Corporation that I posted on, I checked with some friends in the print media, especially in business news, and all the answer I got was it's an editorial decision. Can you imagine that? All editorial bodies of all our mainstream media cannot, will not carry the story. And only Rappler is allowed, and that version only is allowed to go out. And only the few of us, because they know who among the people only know about this, because they have throttled us anyway, can know about it. That once, sometimes, sometime, a long time ago, in July of 2022, a few hundred people or a few thousands knew that there was this transaction involving the BIR and the First Philippine Holdings Corporation, whose main line of business, okay, I give you this. Kasi konti na lang tayo. This is the secret. Napuputulin ko to later on. I'll give you this secret. Its main business is energy. And as they say in their financial statements, their focus is clean energy, which you heard from the Sona. All right, now you know, Adrian, I give you back the microphone. I'll unmute you. Oh,
I'll
wait.
unmute you. Oh, wait.
Medyo kasi ano din kita sa laptop. So, yun. So, I have here a question coming from Anday Friend. I don't know kung makikita mo siya. He was asking question to Adrian, should our government impose control over WW platforms operating within country sovereign territory? My answer to that is, well, this would be my personal answer. Huh? The best person to answer that would either be Attorney Awesome or Attorney Trixie. But for me, they should be held for reasons of taxation. But other than that, I'm not kasi it's a uh, constitutional question. If they can as because they're performing a duty like that of a publisher. Although this is debatable, this has been debated in the U.S. and in Europe because they're like the 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 news outfit, but that needs to be addressed legally. Siguro, I don't know with Congress with that if they have the balls to ask the right questions. But for me, taxation wise, we should regulate them because they're earning billions of pesos per day in the Philippines through our data. That's one. Second lang yung about sa kita nila sa advertising. So yes, 50% yes, they should be regulated by the Philippine government. That's for Anday Friend.
Hindi ko na-unmute. Yeah, that was a nice answer,
Hindi ko
Adrian. No?
na-unmute. Yeah, that was a nice
Okay.
answer, Adrian. No? Okay.
Okay. Yun,
Okay.
may feedback kasi. Yun.
Yun.
Alam mo, yung
Yung,
point ni Adrian is,
yung point ni Adrian is,
okay. Ba tayo mag-mute?
Okay, and
Okay.
Ayan, yan. Okay. Good. Ayan. Yung point ni Adrian is very, very, very true. In fact, the United Nations na group which calls itself Article 19, which apparently is not congruent dun sa nababasa natin na stand or yung advocacy nitong sila Maria Ressa, no? They are saying now that itong Facebook, for example, no, it's under pressure to do a private form of censorship, but they are not condoning it. Okay, so the correct stance here would be to go back to that decision we read from our own Supreme Court not too long ago, and not even obsolete, no? Which where in there they say na free speech should be protected, and that only means no intervention whatsoever. So yung hinihingi na yung tinatanong ng nag-send kanina, which I do not see, I do not know where you got that again. Tama yung sagot mo. Hanggang taxation if ever. Pero ano tax mo? Ang i-tax mo muna yung singilin mo muna ng tama yung tax mo dyan sa MSM, because they make more money than any one of us combined as as bloggers. Yes, that's true. You look at the entire advertising budget of advertising industry of the Philippines, which you can see in may mga stats available dyan from the advertising world, or maybe even in the NS National, the PSA. Isipin mo yan, how much that is. Get 90% of that. That goes to ABS-CBN and GMA lang. And all the rest are scrambling for the next 10. Go, Adrian.
Then, go, Adrian.
Oh, true. Okay ba 'to? Okay yung audio ko? Oh, hindi ko kasi naririnig. Uh, yeah, we do have a lot of problems there in the Philippines in terms of taxation and everything. Hindi lang naman sa media, no, but a lot of industries. Pero one way to also put pressure, whether we like it or not, is through taxation. 'Di ba? Sa US, pag kinakalaban mo yung US government, before you knew it, kumakatok na si IRS sa pinto mo. So that's one way to pressure. The West is good at being good at like telling the rest of the world na dapat ganitong gawin nyo, dapat ganyan, wag ganito, wag ganyan. But they're also doing it in their own land. So they're pressuring private citizens, private corporations who goes against the administration through taxes. And maybe that's one good or bad way to even out the competition, because whether we like it or not, mainstream media in particular is a different animal. So iba-iba 'yan. So maraming matatapang, meron ding hindi. May nababayaran, meron ding matatalino. However, well, yeah, taxation is a good way to check them also. Like ngayon, Facebook is like, well, bahala kayo diyan sa Philippines, mag-away-away kayo. We're earning every time you click on something. We're earning every time you post something good or bad about the government. So bahala kayo diyan. So this way we can regulate them, and we can give them like a, or government can give them the what do you call this? Parang, hello, we are here, and this is our way to make you realize that we are a government and we can do something about what you're doing or what you're not doing on your end.
Well,
So,
Well,
mhm.
it,
the problem only becomes an issue if we do not respect the right of everyone to exercise this privilege of speaking freely, di ba? And allowing everyone to just say things that we do not agree with without threatening anyone's right to be heard. Because you do not really need to curtail, or alam mo yun, punish anybody who does not agree with whatever your group or my group or their group wants to advocate for. Disagreement can actually be best resolved by dialogue or by communication, by allowing each party to speak and expecting from the other party that they are being heard and considered. Hindi yung Hindi yung magmumonolog ako, magmumonolog ka rin, sabay tayo magsasalita, magsisigawan tayo. That will just create noise. That's not right. Kumbaga, tamang dialogue. So if our society, our communications networks allow that, I think that will self-regulate all of these alam mo yun yung hyper at saka hype induced na mga speech ng mga vloggers natin. Alam mo yun, alam naman nila na ano yun, gumagawa lang sila ng ano yun, ng anong tawag diyan pakulo para sumikat. But people will begin to discern na ito, okay, ano lang yan siya. Tapos siseryosohin nitong isang grupo, sasabihin, iyan, fact check natin. Nagbibiro lang yung tao eh. Di ba? Hindi na pa pwede magbiro. Ano ba tayo, super clean, Mr. Clean? O, tingnan mo, finact check ko yung kanilang fact check. Tama ba? Hindi naman Yung mismong fact check ni Rappler kay Amy Marcos, yung pinakabago. Buo lahat mali. From what they say, she did not even say. And then they attack her in the worst way. They say na hindi siya, ang author niyan si Rizon Tiberos, hindi nga rin tama. Pati pa yung inascribe pa nila na quality or qualification ni Ontiveros, my God, galing pa sa kabilang kongreso na hindi talaga yun yung basis. Mali. Sila mismo mali. And they don't even care about that. Ang importante sa kanila, it's the source.
The source.
Adrian, your turn. Okay, anyway, kasi nanguwalan tayo.
Namamatay.
Okay, anyway, kasi walang tayo ng... Yeah.
So,
Okay,
ganito.
better.
Okay.
It's,
Okay, ang sa
So,
akin,
ganito.
Mhm.
It's...
yeah,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, go.
sundot lang doon about sa freedom of speech no, online. Uh, I believe in the freedom of speech. Hindi siya absolute, but for me, the way to somewhat regulate it is to have more speech. Let social be a marketplace for all sorts of speeches. Meron naman nagse-self-regulate ang if we hear or we read a lot of obscenities, people will will call you out, di ba? Why are you saying all this stuff online? Can't you just express yourself better? Meron ganun eh. But right now what's happening is pati yung mga nuances, like for example, when you say ulul, sorry, excuse the term, sometimes it's not really bad. It's an expression, di ba? Even sa Supreme Court nga sinabi na yung PI is something that is not totally bad. It might be obscene pero it's accepted speech. So there are cultural nuances and doon pumapasok yung either kabobohan or pag-bias ng mga fact checkers natin, which should not be the case kasi like who are they, like what made them the best people to regulate speech? I believe we have the enough laws regarding hate speech, uh, obscene speech na pwedeng ma-punish, and let's just stick to that. We don't need Rappler or verifiers or whoever telling us what to say and what not to say. Well, that's just for me.
I agree. I agree with Adrian. And even ito si James, na sinasabi ni James uh, there are always two sides of the story. And if you hold on to one side, there will really be no end to debate. And having no end to debate is actually healthy for society because sooner or even long, long, long time later, their grandson or their will realize mga buwang yung mga lolo natin, ba't pa nila pinag-awayan yan? Tayo na lang magkasundo, pare. Ganun yung mangyayari dyan. But, if you prevent people from talking, if you deny him the right to be heard, you curtail his rights, then you will have a shooting in the Ateneo. So I think with that, you know what I mean, no? It will result to violence, and you know the whoever you know in your household or in your circle of friends na nawalan ng control sa sarili at talagang nagwala na or alam mo yun, nag-amok. It begins with one small spark, and that spark is when somebody tries to stop him from doing something. Try to look back. Try to look at the very open issue of Dr. Numol in his social media pages. I studied him very closely a long time ago. What's his problem? Di ba? Because kami ang nagkaroon ng issue, and we resolved it because we talked. Di ba? We talked. He communicated to me, and I communicated back, and that settled the whole thing. You see, when you allow people to talk and not just impede or alam mo yun, when you stop someone from doing something, that is your problem. You will have violence. And that is not what we want. We do not want to in fact, what happens if we stop Maria Reza from stopping us? Maybe she will do something bad also, no? Napaisip lang ako dun, ha? Because what she really wants to do is take us out of existence. Then, maybe if we stop her, then we'll be doing a great evil to this world. Or is it the other way around? Adrian, let's say our goodbye.
Adrian, let's say our goodbye.
Oh yeah. Siguro parting words ko na lang siguro is I'll quote what uh, what Justice Louis Brandy said in the US. Sabi niya, if there be time to expose through discussion the falsehoods and fallacies to avert the evil by the process of education, the remedy to be applied is more speech, not enforced silence. So more speech. Let people talk, and regardless of our differences, let's hear each other. Ganun lang. Respetuhan lang.
I cannot say anything more except yes, that's very true, and we're very glad to have you here, Adrian. And I think the people will want you to learn how to use your. Mag-practice tayo. Pwede natin itong gawin na hindi on air. We communicate para maayos natin yung equipment ko dyan. And I think our listeners and our viewers, they'd be happy to have your additional insights into these topics that we are discussing. And we're pursuing this one not until eternity, but this is a progressing, actually we have a planned, sequence of topics that are all related. And if you will notice our, tabi ko nga itong mga mukha namin, okay? Paano ba ito palitin? Yan, okay. Our main banner here says that we're actually talking about this in pursuit of that unity that we all want, we have always wanted to happen. So, ito ay usapang unity. So, ayan, may kasama na tayong pangatlo. Dagdag natin dyan si AP. Pero yung wait. I think I can show you. Yung pinakahuli dun sa music natin na lumalabas, andun yun si Adrian. Yung AGP, AP yun yung dulo. Okay, anyway, panoorin nyo lang when I play our song for tonight. It's gonna be this one.